Hello students, let us start our new session with the new topic, combination of resistors. Two types of combinations can be available, series and parallel. Basically, series connection, it means two resistors are connected in a single line. As shown in the figure, R1 that is connected first terminal with one point. Second terminal of R1 is connected with first terminal of R2 and second terminal of R2 is connected with another point. Basically a middle point at where second terminal of R1 and first terminal of R2 is connected. Like these two resistors are obtained in a single line. This thing is known as a series connection. While with this network we are connecting a supply, there is only one path through which current can flow. So we can say that in series current remains same, transferred through both the resistors. Likewise, we can connect any number of resistors in series as shown in the second figure. Three resistors are connected in series with second terminal of R1, first terminal of R2 and second terminal of R2 with first terminal of R3. This is how the connection is established. So likewise, we can connect any number of resistors through which in a single circuit same current is flowing. Here we can apply Ohm's law that we know V equals to IR. So here more number of resistors are there, so accordingly we can choose its Ohm's law condition. For the parallel connection as shown in the figure, first terminal of both the resistors are connected at the same point. Second terminal of both the resistors are connected at another point. Current is entering from point A towards R1 and R2. From the junction, this current is divided in two parts. I1 current is flowing through R1, I2 current is flowing through R2. From the point B, both the current is combined and again that combined current is flowing through it. Means we can say that total current I, which is going to divide in two parts, I1 and I2. So I equals to I1 plus I2. Now, for the series connection, while we apply the Ohm's law, we can say that in series, as we understood, current is remains same. But potential difference across both the resistors can be different. So we can say that V1 is the potential difference across R1 equals to IR1 and potential difference across R2, that is V2 equal to IR2. But while we take the potential difference across both the resistor, so we can say that, for example, that would be V. While we compare the values of V, V1 and V2, we are able to understand that V equals to V1 plus V2. Now replace the value of V1 and V2, that would be IR1 for V1 and IR2 for V2. So take the I common, so that would be R1 plus R2. Now V is total potential difference equal to I by IR. R is equivalent, for example. So R equivalent equals to I R1 plus R2. At both the side current values same, can be nullified. So my resultant equation is R equivalent equals to R1 plus R2. Likewise, the same process we can apply for the series combination of three resistors and we are able to obtain R equivalent equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Likewise, any number of resistors are connected in series, we are able to get the same equation, that equivalent resistance for series combination equal to summation of individual resistance value. Here, as summation is available, we can understand that R equivalent is higher than the high value of individual resistor among any. Right? Likewise, while we go for parallel equivalent equation, as we have seen that here current is different current is transferring from both the resistors, right? So we can say that I equals to I1 plus I2. But while we measure the potential difference between A and B, so V equals to I1 R1 for resistance R1 and V equals to I2 R2 for resistor R2. So we able to understand that in parallel potential difference remains same but current is going to be divided. So I equals to I1 plus I2. Based on the Ohm's law, make the subject of formula I1. So I1 equals to V by R1 and I2 equals to V by R2. Place the values there. V is the common, so that would be 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So total I equals to V by R equivalent. At both the side, V is same. So my equation arises 1 upon R equivalent equals to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R3. Same way, if we apply the condition for 3 resistors are connected in parallel, so same process we need to follow. I equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3. I1 equals to V equals to potential difference across R1. V equals to I1 R1. Potential difference across R2 is I2 R2. And potential difference across R3 is I3 R3. But the actual numeric value, whatever it will be obtained, that is same for all these 3 resistors connected in parallel. Current is going to be divided, so I equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3. From the Ohm's law, make the subject of formula of current values, so we can get voltage by resistor. And total current I equals to potential V divided by R equivalent. So my final equation would arise like 1 upon R equivalent equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. Likewise, any number of resistors are connected in parallel, the same equation will be available. 1 upon R equivalent equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 up to the Rn. By focusing this formula, we can understand that R equivalent is always a lesser than the less value available among any individual resistor. Here, one simple example is given. Between A and B, R1 resistor is there. Between B and C, 2 resistors are connected in parallel. Here we need to get the equation of current I passing through the whole network between A and C. So for that, first we need to solve R equivalent. So first, between B and C, 2 resistors are in parallel. Solve that particular network. So that is R equivalent of 2, 3 equals to R2, R3 divided by R2 plus R3. Based on 1 upon R equivalent equal to 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. So if we make the subject of formula R equivalent, so our equation would become R2, R3 by R2 plus R3. Now that equivalent of the parallel combination is available in series with R1. So now my equivalent of all these 3 resistors are R1 plus R equivalent of 2, 3. Right. Now in series, current is available V by R equivalent. So V by R equivalent of all these 3 resistors is R1 plus equivalent of R2, 3. So that would be the final equation is V into R2 plus R3 divided by R1 R2 plus R1 R3 plus R2 R3. So this is how we are able to get this equation. Here we are going to end our this session. Hope you understood. Thank you. Hello students, let us start our new session with the new topics, that is cells, EMF and internal resistance. Basically here we are going to understand that how the cell is going to work while we are going to connect with any circuit, and based on that how current is flowing. What is the potential difference regarding this cell? So here we can see through the figure that here we are using electrolyte chemical material. Two electrodes are there. One is anode, another one is cathode. Anode, that is a positive terminal. Cathode, that is a negative terminal. Positive terminal is defined as a P and negative terminal is defined as a N. Now we are immersed that terminals in electrolyte solution. Electrolyte solution is there in which current conduction is possible due to both the charge carriers. So in between, basically two charge carriers are there, positive and negative. Now if the positive terminal is available in the electrolyte material, so the potential difference is arise like between terminal and electrolyte. Positive potential difference is there. So my terminal is already positive. So electrolyte in that comparison would become negative. It means here it gives us a negative polarity of electrolyte material with respect to positive electrode. Likewise, for the negative electrode is inserted in electrolyte material, so in which negative potential difference is arised. So while for the potential difference at a negative terminal, so between negative terminal and electrolyte, that potential difference is greater than 0. So we can say that with respect to my negative electrode, electrolyte became a positive. That's why we can say that electrolyte is the material through which positive and negative both polarities can be generated. Now assume that whatever the resistor is connected between C and D, which is not available. For example, I repeat, we are assuming that between C and D, whatever the resistor is shown, it is not available. So what will happen? Potential difference between P and A, between two electrodes, are potential at positive terminal V plus minus potential at a negative terminal is minus V minus. So that would be a total potential between P and N is V plus V minus. This potential difference is known as EMF, electromotive force. So here we can say that EMF is not the external force, but EMF is the potential difference between two electrodes when circuit is open, when no device is connected with the cell. At that time, whatever the maximum possible potential difference is available, that is known as the EMF. Right. Now if we are connecting a resistor across the cell, as we can see in the diagram, likewise. So what will happen? A current flowing across the R from C to D, from positive terminal P to negative terminal of N. But in the electrolyte, where the P is there, it defines the negative polarity, and where N terminal is there, their electrolyte having a positive polarity. So actually within that electrolyte, current transmission is from N to P. But in my external circuitry, my current is flowing from P to N. So whatever the current is flowing through the electrolyte, it means current is passing through some charges flowing within electrolyte. It means when charge is flowing, when some potential difference is created. So when potential difference is created, we can say some of the resistance value is available. So we can say that electrolyte having some internal finite resistance, and this is known as internal resistance small r. It is defined as small r. So here, if we are assuming that my R, whatever externally connected resistance, is infinite, very high value. So by applying the Ohm's law, I equals to V by R. R is infinite, so current is 0. When current is 0, maximum potential difference is available between P and N. So that potential difference is nothing but potential between P and A. A is the point within the electrolyte. Potential difference between A and B, where the charge particles, charge carriers within the electrolyte is moving. So in between these two, internal resistance is existed between A and B. And potential difference between B and N. So that total potential difference is known as basically EMF. So we can say that EMF is the potential difference is available when my circuit is open, so no current is flowing through it. Now if we are assuming that R is with a finite value, so now my current is not 0, some known value of the current is available. So at that time, potential difference between P and N is EMF, V plus V minus IR. So that is epsilon minus IR. Epsilon is EMF. So V potential difference equal to epsilon minus IR. Now, generally internal resistance of electrolyte is very small. So it can be nullified in few cases, but not in all the cases. Because as the cell is different, its internal resistance can be different. Instead of the electrolyte cell, if we are choosing dry cells, whose internal resistance is very much high. So likewise, generally, small r, the internal resistance, we are not avoiding. So, and potential difference across the capital R is I into capital R. So IR is epsilon minus I into small r. We can say like this. V is the total potential equal to I into capital R, as well as, see, here the two equations are there. First V is V plus V minus IR due to the internal resistance. So epsilon minus IR. And potential difference V is due to the Ohm's law in the external circuit is I into capital R. So two equations for the potential difference V. We can equate it. So IR equals to epsilon minus I small r. Make the subject of formula I current. That would be epsilon upon R plus small r. Now if another case we are taking, two cases we have observed. One, when resistance is maximum. Second, when resistance is finite. Third, when resistance is 0, means short circuit path is available. At that time R is 0, so my maximum current is available as I equals to epsilon by R. So we can say that when my resistance is infinite, my current is 0 and my potential difference is maximum. But when my resistance is 0, my potential difference is almost 0 and current is flowing through it is maximum. So here this maximum current is available through the internal resistance. So it won't be infinite, but with maximum finite value epsilon by R. This equation is available to prevent the permanent damage to the cell. If current is flowing maximum through it, cell will be damaged permanently. That's why. Now based on that series parallel combination, one of the example we are going through it. A network of resistors is connected to a 16 volt battery with an internal resistance of 1 ohm. Now we are going to find out three components. First, compute the equivalent resistance of the network. Second, obtain the current in each resistor. And third, obtain the voltage drop across VAB, VBC and VCD. Now, first solve the resistance and to get equivalent resistance of the network. So between A and B, two resistors are connected in parallel. So by having the parallel equation, 1 upon R equivalent equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2. Solve this value. So we have R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. So that value we are having 2 ohm. Now between C and D, a single resistor is there, 1 ohm, keep it as it is. Between C and D, two resistors are connected in parallel. Again the same equivalent parallel formula. Try to solve this and we are having the value 4 ohm. So now between A and B, 2 ohm. Between C and D, 1 ohm. Between B and C, 1 ohm. And between C and D, 4 ohm. Now these three resistors are available in series. So using the series equivalent formula, R1 plus R2 plus R3, 2 ohm plus 1 ohm plus 4 ohm, that is a 7 ohm. That is equivalent resistance of whole network. Now we need to find the current. So current equation we have epsilon upon R plus R. Here in the example it is given that internal resistance of battery is 1 ohm. So that is a small r is 1 ohm. Capital R is we have obtained 7 ohm and the epsilon EMF is given 16 volt battery. So that is epsilon equals to 16 volt. So replace all the values over here and we are having the current value is 2 ampere. That is the total current. Now in the example it is given that give the current transferred through each resistor. So now assume that between A and B, two resistors are in parallel. In parallel, current is going to be divided. So total current I 2 ampere is flowing through A point here. And this from A, it is going to be divided between two resistors, 4 ohm and 4 ohm. So that we know in parallel voltage potential difference remains same. So I R1 R1 and equal to I2 R2. Potential difference due to 4 ohm and potential difference due to another 4 ohm. So we can say that I1 R1 equal to I2 R2. I1 R1 is 4 ohm equal to I2 R2 is 4 ohm. So I1 4 equal to R2 4. So we can say that over here I1 equal to I2. So I1 equal to I2 and total current is I. So I equals to I1 plus I2, that is a 2 ampere. So I1 is 1 ampere and I2 is 2 ampere. Now this 2 ampere current is reached at point B. Now between B and C a single 1 ohm resistor is available. So through which in the series same current is flowing through it. So between B and C from the 1 ohm resistor 2 ampere current is flowing. Now at the point of C, now two resistors are again available in the parallel, 12 ohm and 6 ohm. Again in the parallel voltage remains same. So we can say that I3 into 12 equal to I4 into 6. So we can say that by solving this I3 equal to 12 equal to 14 into I4 into 6. We have I4 equals to 2 I3 and I3 plus I4 equal to 2 ampere. So here by replacing these two equations we have I4 equals to 2 I3 and I3 plus I4 equal to 2 ampere. Two equations, two variable. By solving this we have I3 equal to 2 by 3 ampere and I4 equal to 4 by 3 ampere. So we can say that from 12 ohm resistor 2 by 3 current is flowing and from 6 ohm resistor 4 by 3 current is flowing. Now the third part that we need to solve is voltage drop between each resistor. So between A and B point, we need to find out the potential difference. So that is I1, R1. So I1 is 1 ampere, R1 is 4 ohm. So 1 into 4 is a 4 volt. Likewise, between A and B, if we find the potential difference due to second resistor, so I2, R2. I2 is 2 ampere. I2 is 1 ampere, and that R2 is again 4 ohm. So that would be 4 volt. Now between B and C, I is 2 ampere and resistor is 1 ohm. So 2 into 1 equals to 2 volt. Now between C and D, I3, R3. So 12 ohm into I3. I3 is, we have obtained 2 by 3 ampere. So 12 ohm into 2 by 3 ampere equals to 8 volt. If we obtain due to 6 ohm resistor, then that we have obtained the current value is 4 by 3 ampere into 6 ohm. So again the voltage drop is same, that is 8 volt. So here we have a VCD equal to 8 volt. So if we want to get a total voltage drop between A and D, starting point and end point, then add all these three values. VAB plus VCD plus VAB plus VBC plus VCD. So 4 volt plus 2 volt plus 8 volt, that would be 14 volt. So we can say that from the supply we have a 16 volt, but here we are giving a voltage drop is, potential difference is 14 volt. So we can say that whatever the loss of 2 volt is available, that is due to internal resistance of the cell. Internal resistance, we have a 1 ohm. Current in the series flowing 2 ampere. So 1 ohm into 2 ampere is a 2 volt. So that 2 volt difference is available across internal resistance. This is how 16 volt EMF is divided in whole network. So now here we are going to end our session. Hope you understood the whole session properly. Thank you.